So I think this time for the next intro, I introduce you. You introduce me with like Jesus Cruz, CEO of Home Pride Lending.
Okay.
The fixer.
I like it.
Lives in a kimono.
Lives in a kimono.
Yeah, because that's what you
It's
work.
a magic kimono, but I'll take it. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you still work, so you get things done in a kimono. Mia's dad. You know, like things like that. What would you say about me?
Like good things or bad things?
Good things.
Good things. Okay. I would say something like, "Hi, I'm with Christina Mayorga, the Swedish Realtor.
Okay.
Always available,
Okay.
knowledgeable,
Dedicated to her work.
dedicated to hard work.
Yeah. Goes the extra mile.
Goes
for our
the
customers.
extra mile for their customers."
I like this. I like where this is going. Let's do this. Let's let this be the one.
Let's be the one.
Yeah.
Hi, my
Hey,
name is Jesus, and I'm here with Christina Mayorga, Lavera Realty CEO and President.
Hey, I'm here with Jesus Cruz,
Okay.
CEO of Home Pride Lending. And we have our own show. Welcome.
Welcome, and this is the
Swedish
Show.
Show.
What are we making today?
Okay, so today we're gonna make a staple in baking, which is a classic chocolate chip cookies.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, so what we have today is, for the ingredients part, we got butter, an egg, chocolate chips, a baking powder, baking soda, vanilla extract, salt, brown sugar, white sugar, and all-purpose flour. It's pretty much all you need. If I remember what to mix, we had an issue.
Wait, production say something again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Production is said that they're making this extra easy for me, so that I don't mess up or forget. So we already have the dry parts together, so
All
that
done.
I don't mess this
She
up.
just got to pour it in. Let's
That's
see how
it.
she does. You guys grade us on how she does with the pouring.
What's the topic for today? We need to talk about
Okay,
race.
topic for today is going to be
Okay.
down payment assistance. Now, we were talking about down
I
payment
love
assistance.
down payment assistance. Fun fact: my first year, I believe all my people were down payment assistants.
So you would call yourself a down payment assistance queen?
I don't know about that, but you know, like I always tell people, you got the credit, we'll find the money.
Ooh, that's a heavy promise there.
Yeah, we'll find it.
We'll find you the money.
We'll find you the money.
Where? We'll find you the money.
Hey,
Who knows what's gonna happen? We'll find you
but
the money.
it's just easier. You know what I mean? Like if you're in the game, you're interested in buying and everything. If you have the good credit, then it's easier to find money. But if you have no credit and no money, finding your house is going to be a little bit more difficult.
Exactly. But let's talk down payment assistance.
Yep.
So down payment assistance can come in many different ways. It can come from a gift from a family member. It can be a county down payment assistance. It could be a government entity. Jesus, that's a lot.
It's half.
Yeah, but you pouring it, it's coming all over everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so it can come from a lot of different places. So we're going to talk about the most popular one, which is the county down payment assistance, and then we're going to jump into.
So before we get into that, so we have different types of down payment assistance. We have the type of down payment assistance where it is privately done by a bank, and then you have the county stuff. The county stuff, you got more what?
The county stuff, you get more money. Now.
But do they run out of money? They have a timeline on this.
Well,
because I remember one time you made me run to Kissimmee at 4 o'clock or 4:30.
I remember.
And they closed at 5.
And then you were knocking on the door, and you saw that person at the door, and you're like,
there's a janitor or something, and I was like, please open the door. My people
and they
in
did
the
open the
house.
door.
But they did. Yeah.
They did open the door. I remember.
It was funny.
Yeah, I remember. So.
But we did it. We do whatever needs to be done. Even knocking on city doors at 5:55 when we know they close at 5 o'clock in order to get you your house.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
So with the county down payment assistance, the good thing about the county down payment, we got to clean up on aisle 2.
I'm gonna clean it.
I have our crew member literally staring like, maybe you should do the talking. I do the risking
No.
over here. Okay, so I like this because the county down payment assistance is really great, but there's some pros and cons that really you should know that I think are really, really important. Before getting into it, because a lot of people think it's free money. And nothing in this life is free, guys. If you haven't learned yet, you're going to learn it today on our show. The county is either going to give you some money that's going to be 0% interest, but you pay it back the moment that you refinance, you put your house as an investment property. So with the down payment assistance, you're going to have depending on the program, okay? And depending on which county. The county is going to have regulations where the house has to be in a certain area, it has to be in a certain condition, which might make it a little bit hard for you to get the house that you want, being that the sellers may or may not fix this for you before closing. So I'll give you an example. So if you're going to do the pros and cons between down payment assistance for the county and down payment assistance via Chenoa or via Essex or programs that we have, they regulate that loan like straight with that investor, with Fannie, Freddie. And so when you have it with the county, they have their own processing, they have their own underwriting. It's a whole different process, okay? So one might be quicker than the other. If time is of the essence, maybe not doing the county makes the most sense. And you might want to do something like Chenoa or Essex.
Because when you're putting an offer, you have to disclose these things. Why? I'll be honest. There's some people out there. There may be some realtors, X, Y, and Z companies, that what they end up doing is that they say, yeah, we're gonna be good for the next 30 days. We got you. We're gonna be able to close. And then you're in the thick of it, and then you have to ask the seller for an extension in the middle of the transaction. You don't want to do that. Why? Because people are going to start getting mad. Sellers got to move, or their purchase of this house or the next house is dependent on the sale of this one.
Right.
So they're going to get mad, and they're not going to want to give you an extension. Technically, they're kind of in it to win it at that point with you, because it's been 15 days out of the market. They're in the process with you. So sometimes they will give you that extension. But sometimes when you're in the middle of it and you tell them, hey, I need an extra 15 days, not just 3 days to, cross your T's, dot your I's, but we're talking about an extension like of an extra 15 days because you have to go through underwriting twice, then in that case, you're going to want to have those numbers up front. So you're always going to want to disclose and have a realtor that has a good conversation and a good communication with the lender in order to be able to have the right expectations, not for you just as a buyer, but also for the selling side, because the sellers and the buyers are working together. Both agents are working together for the seller to sell and for the buyer to buy. So in order for us to have that clear communication, we have to have the right expectations from the get-go. So we like to be able to say, hey, if you're accepting this offer, please accept it knowing that we have county, blah, 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 blah.
Right. The contingency has to be there.
Yeah.
Advising them, disclosing to them that this DPA program is something that may or may not take some time and may require you to actually pay or fix a few things before down payment assistance comes into play.
Yeah.
With that being said, the good news is that I'm going to switch this, we're going to go to the mixer. So the good thing about the down payment assistance program is, like Christina said, it's there, they'll find you the money. We'll find you the money, we'll see what program fits best for you. Some programs, you only need a 600 credit score for the down payment assistance.
That works.
And heck, everybody, for the most part, can make that work. Now, we are going to mix this bad boy up really quick.
And when you put it in there, make sure the trick that production told us is to not mix it over 2, or don't mix it so much, because then it's going to be flat and it's not going to puff up pretty.
What if it looks dry? No, it's working. I got worried for a second. It looks a little dry, but it's doing good over here.
Because the recipe said 1 egg. I read that correctly.
That's good, right?
And we'll make it into balls with the little scooper.
So down payment assistance, great program. You're going to have all of your needs met as far as the assets go. Some of them require you to have a certain debt to income ratio. So I'll say for an example, you may be qualified to purchase a home at $350,000 traditional FHA. Now DPA requires that you maintain less than 45% ratio as opposed to an FHA loan. You could do much more than that. So your buying power will be majorly affected, not infected.
It's okay.
Infected, affected, both bad. So when that happens, your purchase price might go down from 350 down to 210.
Yeah, that happened a lot, especially in my first year of real estate. I had some people that they were like super excited for what they got approved for.
Right.
And then when they said, hey, I want the money, they saw that their allowance, I guess, if you want to say it, for the monthly and their purchase power went significantly down. So I was just like, hey, you want the help? It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you something. Maybe not nothing in upfront, but it's going to be like that.
So I think that the most part,
Chocolate
sorry,
chips.
I totally forgot my chocolate chips, the best part. The best part of the good ones. So a few things that need to be noted when you talk about, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's good.
Good. So when you think about the down payment assistance, here's some fun facts that you should know that I believe are so important. One of them being, when the county gives you $15,000, for example, or $20,000, you're not getting a full $15,000, $20,000. From that amount, they deduct 1.5% in fees, as well as some admin fees that they charge.
I can do that.
Yeah, that's the. I can't multitask. I have to talk in.
No worries. You're talking about fees.
Yeah,
and
I'm talking
all
about fees and
all
money.
this
I want to be
lender
precise.
Stuff.
Yeah, so they want to make sure. You want to make sure that
You just
take
tell
into
me how
account.
much you get approved for.
Yeah.
I just
I'll be
want
like,
to know.
I'll be like, girl, you're 350. Go get them, Tiger.
Yeah.
But this is important because people think that, oh, I'm getting 15,000. I'm going to use the 15,000. That's not true. They give you the 15,000, but then you take away, 1.5 in fees. That could be anywhere from $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 just like this that they take away. And guess what? You still have to pay back in interest the 15,000.
Yeah. Or you're going to be in a 7-year type of loan where you're going to have to pay that down payment back in the process of 7 years.
Yeah. And there's your Chenoa program, which is a great program, but the truth is money is not free. There's costs associated with it. And I like to say to families out there that are looking for down payment assistance is this is the last resort. This is going to be the last resort for the funds that you need to use, because if you could get a gift from mom, dad, brother, sister, that could help you.
Okay, speaking about that, how long does the gift have to be in the bank account? Because sometimes I have people that come and they're like, I got the money. And then the day that they're going to give it, they had it under the couch.
Yeah, so depending on the loan program, if you're doing a conventional loan, the money can go to the donor's account. From the donor's account, it's going to go straight to title. The bank will only require you to have a gift letter and the title company's receipt, and it must match the donor's bank account must match the wire that was received by the title company, so they go hand in hand. If you're doing an FHA loan, there's another portion of it that's important. It's the bank statement. No, the bank statement. Because with conventional, you don't have to show the donor's bank statement.
Okay.
All you gotta do is wire the money from the title to the donor's account to the title company, get a title confirmation letter with the gift letter, call it a day. FHA requires you to source the money, so FHA will say you need to show the money liquidating from the donor's account. I need to see the money going to the title company, the wire being sent to the title company, and you have to provide the gift letter.
Yeah, because that happened to me one time.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I had a person one time that they had the money, their uncle had the money, but the uncle gave the money in cash and gave it to them physically. They went to the bank and they deposited it. The bank tells me, Christina, we can't use that money. I'm like, oh man. So in that case, it sucks, because you've gotten the trust of somebody, right? In order to be able to get this gift, or they're able to give you this gift, right? And in that, in order for you to be able to say 2 days or a day before closing, because you're a little bit short on the closing costs, it kind of sucks, and it gives like a more of a strain, especially in those last 48 hours that you're waiting for the clear to close in order to be able to get the final approval.
Well, I mean, the truth is the down payment assistance is going to be there to help you. It's a great safety net to be there. A lot of people are using it frequently. The Hometown Heroes is huge right now.
Yeah, it's very popular.
Very great for those that are in the medical, teaching. It's just a great program for our heroes that service our county and the state of Florida. Not everybody qualifies. because there is an income limit and there are some qualifications you need to have, whether you gotta be a teacher, you gotta be a firefighter, you gotta, work in the medical field. You have to be full-time actually using your certificate at that time. So you can't be working at McDonald's and used to be a nurse and, have to be full-time at that job in order to use that. So, there's so many. So, I will be here all night, all day explaining all the different types of programs there are. It comes down to what makes more sense for you as an individual. What makes more sense for you and your family, what the payment looks like.
Yeah, because the good thing about having a realtor and a lender that are familiar with these different programs and are they're able to give you that option, because there's some realtors and there's some lenders that will flat out say, I don't do DPA, no thank you, and move on. But the thing is that everybody has different needs. So where even if you qualify for different ones, we don't marry you to one. We give you all the options. We tell you the breakdowns of all of them. And then that way you guys can decide which program best works for you. Because at the end of the day, we give the power back to you guys.
Yeah. Ultimately is your decision.
Awesome. But I think these are ready to put in some, and that's going to be baking in for 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Awesome.
Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes starting now.
Awesome.
She's my girl.
You said 8.
I feel good about it.
Okay.
So now we wait.
So now we wait and we stare at each other. No, we're going to continue talking about down payment.
Okay, fine. Let's do it. I know all the viewers are dying to know more about it.
Okay. Obviously, we have the programs, the private programs, like the one that you mentioned, Chenoa. That's a real popular one. I, out of experience, know that usually it takes you about 7 years in order to pay it back. And that's usually a second mortgage, correct?
Yeah, so you have a repayable or a payable option. And depending on, like I said, what makes it more sense, the credit score, the qualifications. So you can do the soft second option where it's practically a personal loan. It's always going to be 2% higher, 2% higher of the initial rate. So for example, if your first mortgage is locked at a 7.25, then your second would be 9.25% interest rate. That is paid back for the next 10 years, and you're going to pay that every single month, not together with your mortgage. It's paid separately.
2 checks.
Two different payments. So it's important to know when you're paying your $1,500 mortgage payment, you still got to pay your $200 personal loan, what it really is. That's basically what it is, at a 9.25%. Like I said, it might make sense to somebody that absolutely doesn't have the funds. If Chenoa, for example, gives 5% in down payment assistance, they're going to take away 1.5% in fees automatically. Plus, they're going to take some admin fees. So by the time that they really get the 5%, they're only going to get 3.5%. And that is why it's important to know the numbers to make a knowledgeable and educated decision.
Yeah.
Because if you think that it's just, boom, everyone's getting free money, everyone's paying, getting me a free house, that's not accurate. It's the opposite, actually.
Yeah.
So some people pay that back. There's no prepayment penalty. So that's good. Like if you are getting that assistance and you say, well, Jesus, I have the money coming in 90 days, 6 months from now, I'm getting a big settlement check, totally good. You pay that off and you're good to go. You don't have to wait those 10 years.
One of my favorite DPAs back in the day was the rural areas, the USDA. We used that puppy up like it was no tomorrow.
Back in the day, are we still using it? It's very popular right now.
But I remember that there is a section of Haines City, Davenport area by I-27, I believe. And there they had all these new construction. Story time. There was like all these new construction builders and everybody zero down payment. They were giving away these houses because the builder was giving the closing costs. So I had good 3 families that went in, and all they had to do in order to get these houses was like pay like $3,000. It was ridiculous. Like it was ridiculous. People were literally giving away these houses. And now these houses right now cost way more because of the increase, and they have like 2.5 beautiful chef's kiss interest rates because they were able to qualify at the moment. They took the leap of faith and they were doing. So sometimes you just got to do that. So it's always good.
Yeah, I mean, the purpose of DPA, like I said, is just to get you home and to make sure that if you have the credit, you have the income, you're able to qualify for it, and you need that extra help and support, it's there for you, and it's always going to be there for you. These are how those banks make a big ton of their money, is because people love to get that assistance, and it's a great source to have. It's a temporary Band-Aid. If you don't have a strategy to get out of it, you could easily find yourself paying back, out of the 10, 15, 20,000 that you receive, you're paying triple that amount back in those 10 years. So it's important to say, okay, I'm going to get this money, but I have a game plan. Every time I get a tax refund, I'm going to put it towards that. Every time that I'm going to bonus on my job, I'm going to put it towards that. And that should be the main goal.
Yeah, paying it back as soon as possible.
Paying it back as soon as possible, so that way you can tackle the other mortgage, right?
Yeah.
Because we talk about doing a mortgage for 30 years, we talk about all that good stuff, but ultimately the American, or 15, we talk about the American dream, but the truth is that being debt-free is ultimately the American dream. And so you get a loan for $350,000, you should talk to us and talk to us about how to pay that off in half the amount of time. Yeah. Talk about how to leverage the money and utilize that down payment assistance to get you into the home, but get out of the debt eventually.
Because once you're out of the debt, then you can multiply that and buy other properties. And we're not just saying buy other properties because he's a lender and I'm a realtor.
Right.
No, we want you guys to build wealth. The biggest people in any industry have made their money through real estate. That's just a fact.
There's a reason why.
There's a reason why.
Millionaires are just so drawn to the real estate market because there's so much guarantee. So fun fact, I don't know if you knew or not, Christina, but a few weeks ago I sold actually my first primary home.
Hey, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about this. So if you're a first-time home buyer, this is huge because not a lot of people actually, we do real estate all day long, and I kind of feel like it's important to practice what we preach and to talk about it and talk about, how people should, buy homes and all this good stuff, and then yet other real estate professionals aren't utilizing those tools how they should, right? Yeah. So I purchased my home as a primary residence. I mean, absolutely, when I saw it on the MLS, it was hideous. Horrible looking home. I mean, these people were selling the house themselves, and the realtor maybe was getting like a 1% because the pictures were horrible. The phone. So my realtor at that time, which is my sister-in-law, she actually called me and said, "Hey, Suze, I have a realtor in my office, has a listing." Okay. And she says that this house is yours if you like it. So she sent me the photo, she sent me the listing, and I was like, hell no, you're not taking it. No way, Jose, am I gonna be living in there.
But you see, it happens to us too.
Oh, yeah.
There are people out there that say, I know when I buy my first house, I'm not gonna buy the prettiest house in the block. Or I'm gonna buy something that I can afford comfortably and I could make my own in the long run. Because sometimes it's just like, hey, it makes sense.
Well, when I get to the house, right, I'm going into the driveway, I'm going through the community. Yeah, it was very wow, there was cars in the streets type of thing. Those communities that have cars in the streets, whatever. Yeah. So I go in, one of the things what I was drawn to this house was that there was a lot of trees by the house, and it had a cute little 1-car garage, and it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a little retention pond in the back. So I love like a little water view, sit down outside, have a cup of coffee, just kind of relax. So I love a water view. So when I got into the house, it was instant for me. I mean, the house was it was very small, but it was quaint and it was perfect. I bought it for $170,000. And at that time it was whoa, 170, get out of here, whatever. So I purchased the house, we got under contract, very smooth, we got everything rolling. And I moved into my first house, and I lived there ever since. And the market continued to rise. Historically, it's always rising.
But he started putting some love back in his house.
Yes,
you did amazing remodels. He took out walls.
I did take out walls. I put in a pool.
Yeah, you put.
I put in a pool. I invested in a pool. I built my dream kitchen. I put an island. I really, really put some love in it. Made it your own. I mean, I was in there for about 6-7 years. And the amount of equity that property earned was substantial. I sold it at $420,000. I bought a house for 170, sold it for 420.
Guys.
And I mean,
Are you hearing?
I mean, it's unreal. I will tell you, it's unreal to like look back and say how that one home has changed my life forever. I mean, that home is the reason why I have this home, that I was able to remodel my dream home. That home was the reason why I'm having my kids. You know, it's just amazing how one property can change your life forever. And what did I do? I bought the starter home. I started with a home, right? And I used down payment assistance. And I did.
Keeping it real.
And I'm keeping
100.
it real. And, you know, down payment assistance was a great tool at that time. It was Florida Bond. At that time, Florida Bond was giving out money left and right, and it was forgivable, right? So it was like a no-brainer. It was like after a certain amount of years, boop, second mortgage is gone, don't even know it existed. And I got the house of my dreams because of that. So I do have a shift in mentality now, what I know about DPA, because of the current market we're in.
Yeah.
Hey Siri, stop. Sounds like the cookies might be, well, okay, look at that fluff it has.
Whoa.
Yeah, it looks
Whoa.
good. I think 2 more minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of a shift in the DPA mindset just because I know where the market is now. You know, when I got my house, it was 4.25%, and the DPA was 0%. Now it would be 7.25 on the first, 9.25 on the back, and they take out more fees than they did before. So my mentality a little bit's changed, but I don't want to discourage you if you're watching it, because I do feel like it got me my house, my starter home, and it could get you your starter home.
It can.
It could. Absolutely. So with all that in a nutshell, all we basically want to say with everything that we said was everybody lives a different life. How they live is so different.
What they want out of a house.
What they want.
What kind of house
what they
want.
need, what their needs are.
Yeah.
You know, my need at that time, I didn't really care about school zone. I didn't really care about, you know, where my job was remote. So I never really have to worry about that. So your situation might be a little different. But the first step, what I did was obviously talk to the real estate professional, talk to my lender, and really sat down and saw and put it all on a roadmap and said, this is where I'm currently at. How do I achieve the American dream of owning a home? And so it all took just a conversation. I was at SeaWorld when I bought my house. When I put in the application, it was a real story. I'm here, we're in a ride, we're about to get on, what was that big ride on SeaWorld that's very famous? The Manatee, I think it was? Is that SeaWorld?
That's the one where you lay on your belly?
Yeah. So then the Manta, right? So I'm right there, we're about to get in line, and my brother turns to me. My brother at that time was a broker and realtor, and he said to me, like, hey, you never bought a house before. And I'm like, no, at that time I was 19 years old. And I was like, no, I haven't bought a house. He's like, well, you work at State Farm, you do a good salary, you know, you get your commission, you've been there for 2 years. Like, he's like, hold on, let me do the application. On his phone, he's like, submits the application. 30 minutes later, oh, you're pre-qualified. Give me your documents. And I'm like, okay. So I send them my documents through email. And by the time that I got on the Manta, got off, I was already pre-approved. Yeah, I was up flying, and I got off, and he's just like, "Oh, you're pre-approved. You're good to go for 200." And I'm like, "What? Okay, let's go."
Yeah.
So
if
it
you're
was
talking
amazing.
over the phone and you're doing an application with somebody, how long does that usually take?
Application on the phone, 10 minutes maybe. It's really quick.
It's really
and
fast.
honestly, 5 minutes are just doing the application. The other 5 is building rapport and talking to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I mean, it was just amazing. Just the amount of just a conversation that took one conversation that we had, boop, my whole life changed.
Yeah, I had another buyer this year. She didn't think she qualified, and she was just like, everybody else has been telling me that I have to wait 2 years to be able to buy 2 years. And I'm like, well, there's a 12-month program for this.
Yeah.
And how do you do it? She's like, I'm a 1099. I'm perfect. Like, it was that one conversation that changed her life, and she was able to buy a house with that one conversation. Everybody else had told her no. Maybe they just didn't know that program. Maybe they didn't have a lender
They're
that worked.
just not knowledgeable.
But what one bank offers might not be the
Right.
same. You know, like, everybody works different ways. All the requirements are different. So even if somebody has told you no 3 times, 4 times, whatever, like, never give up. Always be able to ask questions. Get curious and figure out what is it that you need to do in order to get into a house.
Yep.
Yep.
I agree.
Let's check on the
Let's check.
stickers.
I think so.
Yes.
I think these are really good. Yeah, I like it.
Oh my
All
God.
right, let's.
They rise so cute. Yay. So
The
here we
cookies are finally done, and they look
Okay, you did.
so good.
Yeah, I want this one.
Oh, but look at you can have it. I'm not gonna. But look how beautifully crunchy, melted, gooey. I mean, wow. Look at this break. I mean, look at that.
That's gooey.
Look at that. Just look at that.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, let's try
I
it.
need it.
Okay.
Okay.
Here it goes. 1, 2, 3. 10 out of 10. Do it again.
Soft crisp. That was good.
Wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot.
Wow. Wow.
You guys know the spiel. Now, you guys have seen a few episodes. So we're gonna like and subscribe, ring that bell, and then we're gonna follow him on Home Pride Lending website
Right there.
and the Instagram, and then here, the sweetest realtor. That's me. So again, we're not professionals, as you can tell, but we're getting really good at
We're
this.
getting
man.
really good at it.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be cocky.
I don't know about
I
it,
feel
but
I feel like Betty Crocker right now.
I feel really good about it. We're not professional bakers, but we are professional real estate agent and lender. So for sure, if you love these videos, please share, like, comment, tell your brother, your sister, your uncle, everybody you know, spread the word. Your team is here waiting for you.
Yeah, we're here to help.
We're so good. Okay, we're gonna finish this up.